Well, I have Charles Hendricks with me today, and he is from Gaines Group Architects, and his office is in Harrisonburg, Virginia. We're very excited to learn more about building science and some career interview questions. So, Charles, my first question for you is, how would you explain building science in like 1 to 2 sentences?
So a house is the most complicated machine that you will ever own. There's a lot of things that happen in a house and a lot of different pieces and parts that work together. So building science is how all those things come together and function appropriately together to make it work well, to be healthy, durable, and long lasting.
And how would you say your educational pathway took you to where you are today?
So I'm dyslexic. I never did really well in school, but I took a drafting class in 7th grade and I fell in love with design. I'd always liked art, but drafting houses really, it gave me that problem solving and satisfaction from problem solving that I could do visually, which worked really well. So I decided I wanted to be an architect in 7th grade, and then I spent many years through college and training to get to where I am now. And now I own my own firm and I am a licensed architect.
Wonderful. Um, Let's see here. Your firm has been awarded for your work on sustainable, LEED certified, EarthCraft certified, and Energy Star projects. So that's pretty impressive. How would you maybe explain to folks the differences between those? Is one more superior than the other? Does it depend where you are or what type of building you're working with or home?
Yeah, those are all different rating systems for how a building performs, and they measure, different ones measure different things, and there are different points available for different ones. So LEED is like an AP exam. It's the hardest to achieve. EarthCraft is like maybe a pop quiz where there's a little bit more flexibility and maybe you can get some extra credit if you do some extra things. So everyone is measuring different things and looking at different aspects of how we're caring for creation and taking care of the earth through energy efficiency, durability, what materials we're picking. And now a lot of people are talking about indoor air quality after the pandemic. And there's some that measure that a little bit more than others do.
Awesome. Thank you. What do you find interesting or others have told you is pretty interesting about the work that you do?
Well, I get to learn a lot about my clients and how they want to live, and I get to help them create solutions for buildings to help facilitate the lifestyle they want to live. So if you think about an industrial facility, they get a product in one door and then it goes through a system of manipulations to create it into something else, and then it comes out the other door as a finished product that's sold to a consumer. I have to understand how all that works to design a building that will allow that to happen efficiently. Or for a house, I have to think about how people want to live together in that house. So if Thanksgiving dinner might have 26 people, how can I design a house that can allow 26 people to come to Thanksgiving dinner, but not feel huge the other 300 plus days a year? So how can you make places adaptable and fit the lifestyle that people want to live in?
True, it's a good point. What skills do you think are needed to do your job well?
The most important is to be a good listener and to be observant. So like I said earlier, I'm dyslexic. So a lot of people say math and science are the most important things for if you want a career in STEM or architecture. And there's a place for that. If you're good with math, there's certainly a place in architecture for that. And that's a great skill to have, but I'm not great in math. So my skill is that I can think in 3 dimensions, and I'm creative, but I'm a good listener. So in being honest is the most important thing for a small business owner. I'm very transparent. So some people say it's blunt. I speak my mind and I say what I think is right. And that helps through a design process if there's no illusions in it, and you can just be very straightforward and listen to what the client's asking you to do.
Yeah, I certainly think they appreciate that. And what is one thing that almost nobody knows about your job, do you think?
How complicated buildings are to put together. A lot of people watch channels like HGTV and they see houses being built in a half-hour TV episode. That's not reality, that's definitely TV. houses, all buildings are very complicated machines, and how all the pieces and parts go together to make sure that they're healthy is really a difficult task. And we're just creating the instructions. What I've described it as is that instruction book that you get with your Legos when you buy them. I create that instruction book for buildings. And then a builder has to take that instruction and put all the pieces and parts together. Only in buildings, he doesn't get it all in a box like Legos. He has to then figure out what pieces and parts he needs to make it look like what I drew. So the complication that exists within building a building is not really understood by many people outside of what we're doing daily.
Great, thank you. And I guess my last question for you is the push with building science and learning about energy efficiency and what we can do as humans in our home, and then with the building design process itself that you specialize in. Are there any new technologies or just an interesting fact you want to share with everyone that might be new or not known?
Yeah, a lot of high-tech technology is becoming very affordable and accessible through the use of like smartphones. So if we think about indoor air quality, for instance, there are a lot of different monitors that you can see what you are breathing by using a monitor in your house and your smartphone, and it can measure the levels of virus that's in the air or carbon dioxide that are in the air, so you can see what the health of your indoor air quality is now. And it's so cool that this technology is becoming readily available for anybody, and it's fairly intuitive how to use it and how to set it up. So I think the introduction of technology, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, robotics, just how smart smartphones really are, all of that's changing our industry and how we design buildings. So to me, that's the exciting piece that's coming into the industry, and a tool that I think we're going to use more and more is just technology in general.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.